Hello guys and welcome back to a brand new video on Lex Selects as we are continuing on with our Euro 2024 coverage, and we're going to carry it on with some more score predictions. We've made it already to the round of 16. Incredibly, we've already seen goodbye to 8 teams in the tournament. We are now continuing on with 16 that are left, and they are going to have to play against each other to then go to the quarterfinals, and we can officially see the route to the final for all 16 of these teams now. So the countdown of the tournament, I think, really starts now, but honestly, the games just ramp up in intensity. So I'm really excited to see how they go on. So as always, guys, feel free to leave your score predictions in the comments down below. I do have a look at them, and I always do get very interested to see what you guys always predict. If you guys like what we see, please smash the like button. It really does help the growth of this channel. It really does. If you're going for 25 likes, that'll be absolutely amazing. Please do hit the subscribe button if you've not done so. It really does help the growth of this channel. And please also share as well. All 3 of these things are free to do, and they really help. But without any further ado, let's start predicting the round of 16. Let's start things off with Switzerland and Italy. This is the first round of 16 game that will officially kick off. Switzerland got round to the round of 16 by finishing 2nd place in their group, and actually at one stage they were 1st place in their group. Had they not conceded that late equaliser against Germany, they would have finished Group A as the leading team in that group, unbelievably. And it just shows you how much Switzerland have been able to bring their A game against some really good teams in this competition. And I will consider Hungary, Scotland and Germany certainly not been the easiest group out of all the groups we've had in this tournament. Italy have not looked as impressive and have definitely not made it look as easy as what Switzerland have done. But they have also qualified by finishing in their group 2nd place. So they were behind Spain, and in the end of it, they finished on a group pretty on a mediocre term. So they managed to get a win, obviously against Albania, lost to Spain, and then were only able to draw against Croatia. So only 4 points Italy have picked up out of a possible 9. So they'll be wanting improvements in this game. Obviously, they're the reigning champions of Euro, of the last Euros, I should specify. So they certainly do not want to give that title away. But the way that they're playing at the moment, I am uncertain that there's a cohesiveness. And I do think it's a very changed side, especially in their back line, of what Italy have been used to here. For a prediction, I can honestly see this one going all the way, you know. I'm going to say it's going to end 1-1 at full time, and I think we'll get 1-1 still at extra time, and I'm actually going to throw a shock, and I'm going to say Switzerland are going to qualify on a penalty shootout. And, you know, this will mean history repeats itself. They did the same thing to France in the last Euros. Can they do it again here? They certainly do have the ability to. Let me know what you think of this in the comments down below. Next is Germany versus Denmark. So we were just speaking about Germany. They did manage to win their group in the end. And the first 2 games against Scotland and Hungary, they looked very comfortable. I think within their 3rd game, they knew they were pretty much qualified already. So they did rotate that squad quite a fair bit. And as a result, they didn't manage to beat Switzerland in the end. But they did fight back and got an equaliser in the end, and I think they were a little bit unfortunate because I think they had a goal disallowed pretty unfairly as well. So ultimately, I still think Germany have been on the whole near perfect, being the host nation of their tournament at the moment. Denmark is a strange one for me. They have not been impressive. They really have not been. They've had 3 draws, so technically unbeaten still in this tournament, but they drew 1-1 to Slovenia. And we know they drew 1-1 to England as well. And they ended it off drawing 0-0 to Serbia. Only 2 goals scored from this Denmark side in this tournament. And with only 3 points picked up. Again, they've really got to up their game against this Germany side. Now, if they do like what they did to England, just to get a really good shot from outside the box and to really take their chance, I think this would be an interesting test for Germany. But the realistic scenario I see happening is that Germany would dictate play, hold the ball, be very patient with it, and I think they'll be able to patiently wait for an opening and will be able to eventually beat Denmark. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to the Germans. I think they will have this one pretty comfortably in the end. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next is England. They are facing Slovakia. So England are going straight from Slovenia to Slovakia. So similar named country or not, it is still opposition that England should be a little bit more prepared and should approach this with a little bit less fear than what they have done in all three of their groups games. I mean, I am very impressed that they've only conceded 1 goal so far in this tournament, but at the same time, I'm not happy with England for the fact they've only scored 2 goals in 3 games. This is a problem. They really do need to find a way around that. Slovakia have definitely produced some miracles. I mean, getting to this stage of the competition, considering the group they were put in, I think is already a miracle in itself. They did really, really well, Slovakia, to get to the stage. Beating Belgium is essentially the reason why they've managed to make it as far as they have. So I'm really pleased for them to get this opportunity. And I think they can definitely pose England some problems, because I don't think England are playing at their full strength at the moment. I'm not expecting Phil Foden to play. He's had the incident to go back home with his family. For what I've heard today, he will return to the England camp at one point, but I'd almost observe to see what England do in this game, because if he returns, he probably won't be there more than a day, and then he'll be immediately going straight back home otherwise. So England really got to show more. They know they are underperforming. They know the pressure's on them, but I really want to respond. I just want a little bit more, what's the right word? I just want them to play with a bit more freedom. I think that's the word I'm thinking of. It feels really, really restrictive at the moment. So that's the frustrating part watching them. And they all look like complete strangers playing with each other. They do not know how to play with each other. And I thought we established that problem, but unfortunately, at this moment, there's clearly a disconnect there. And I think that's going to be a big factor to why England may not win this tournament, which I am not really confident that they will now. But I really hope they prove me wrong. They've got to go past Slovakia first. That's the first thing we've got to think about here. Their side of a draw is really, really nice, actually. So get past this one, then it is not a terrible route for England to go to try and get to all the way to the final. As a prediction, I don't see many goals, honestly. Slovakia were involved with a 1-1 draw with Romania, which confirmed their qualification in the end. I'm going to go 1-0 England. I don't think it's going to be many goals, and personally, I think it's going to be more of the same. I don't think Gareth Southgate is going to change much. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Spain versus Georgia. I mean, Spain, to me, play like they've played with each other for a long time. This is a very new and young Spain squad, but I am so excited to see the possibilities that they can actually have. They are playing so well right now, very fluid, very possession heavy, but they're creating chances. The only weakness I see with Spain is that they're not putting the ball in the back of the net as often, I think, as they should. I think if they were as clinical, let's say, what Germany have shown, then I think Spain will be a very difficult team to stop. Georgia, I mean, I think this is the equivalent of Iceland qualifying from the group stage to the round of 16. We know what happened. They beat England to make it all the way to the quarterfinals before getting knocked out by France. Could this be Georgia's time for that? It's their first major tournament. It was an incredible win for Georgia against Portugal. Yes, a changed team, but regardless, they fought hard. And for the fact that they actually managed to finish second in the third place qualifiers is a testament to their achievement. They've done so well. So I'm really, really pleased for Georgia that they managed to make it as far as they have done. However, I do think Spain is certainly not the nicest opposition they could have faced. As a prediction, I think Spain will win this one, but I think Georgia will give them a good go. I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to Spain. But honestly, if Georgia produces a shock, it will be up there for Iceland beating England. I think it will be an incredible moment for this tournament. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So next is France versus Belgium. I was not expecting to see this tie pop up, but France finished second in their group. Really, really bizarrely, but they have finished second in their group. Belgium have also finished second in their group, and you can argue quite bizarrely as well, considering the teams that were in Belgium's group. So I would say both of these sides have underperformed for what they were expected to in the group stage. Both of them need to up their game here, because only one of them can go through to the quarterfinals, and they are two hard-hitting teams with certainly high expectations. So it will be interesting to see which one of them triumphs here. France have, you know, really struggled actually with goals. They've only scored 2 penalties. That's been their only goals. Belgium, to be fair to them, have scored more open play goals, but they've missed so many chances. And the 0-0 draw they had with Ukraine was a very negative, frustrating game, I think, for both sides. Ukraine for not qualifying, and Belgium, obviously, for not topping their group from this as well. So ultimately, I think they got to start clean here, and they've got to just try and outdo France in terms of a pressing point of view. But based on what I have seen of France, they do look good at times. They just struggle, I find, when it comes to taking their chances and managing the game. So as a prediction, if France score early, I think they'll win. I think if it stays, you know, goalless for a long, long time, I think Belgium could have a chance. I, however, think Mbappe will find a moment of quality. He'll score for France, and I think that will be the only goal, because I think both these sides have not scored too many in this tournament. I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to France, but I really don't think there'll be much in it at all. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Portugal versus Slovenia. Portugal did manage to top their group in the end, although it was a little bit tight. I mean, they definitely did not put their strongest team against Georgia. You know, I'm going to praise Georgia for the win, of course, but Portugal certainly rotated for the fact that they knew that they would have finished first no matter what. But it does ring alarm bells that there are still weaknesses within that Portugal side, I think, especially when it comes to winning the second ball. And if they're playing a very physical team, I do think they lack the physicality at times. They do seem a little bit soft. So if they do allow themselves to play their football, I think Portugal are pretty difficult to stop. But if you do fight for them, I think they could be de-rattled a little bit. Slovenia have managed to go through by qualifying in 3rd place and have been one of the 4 best 3rd place sides. They recently played against England, which was a 0-0 draw, one of the most negative games I've ever seen. But Slovenia had moments, they had glimpses of quality, but they just did not have that end product. Sesko was a ghost and it was just given no service whatsoever. Neither side looked really, really confident going forward at all. And Slovenia got to show more confidence here, because this is a really tough test for them. Portugal will certainly outdo them in an attacking point of view, but what Slovenia could do, like what they did for England, is to frustrate them and to defend in numbers. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Portugal win. I see this one being a little bit tight, actually, and I think a bit tense, which I do think a lot of the higher ranked FIFA teams have, you know, on the whole, have not made any of their games look easy at all. So I think this will be another one of those examples. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We made it to the final 2 games, so let's go for Romania and Netherlands next. So Romania have won their group. Incredible, right? Romania have won their group, and they've done that with a draw. They were behind against Slovakia, but Marin scoring from the penalty spot ensured that Romania will be drawing, and they managed to hold on for that draw to the 19 minutes as well, qualifying them and Slovakia to the next round. So I'm really pleased for Romania. I certainly didn't give them much hope getting out of their group, but they've proven me wrong, and they've got some really good individual players. Netherlands does fall into the camp of the high-ranked FIFA sides who I think have underperformed. They actually finished 3rd in their group, so they certainly were a little bit fortunate to qualify. I mean, based on the fact they did win and they drew, I think they did give themselves a strong chance to go through, even if they did finish 3rd, but it certainly was a little bit shocking. So yeah, they got their 4 points by beating Poland and drawing against France, of course. That France game was probably one of the best 0-0 draws I've seen for quite some time. Here, I do think Netherlands do have a good chance here. I think even when they did lose against Austria, it was a terrific game. I was be up there for game of the tournament, actually, for the back and forth between those two. But Netherlands know how to score a goal, and I think that, to me, gives me a little bit confidence that they can edge Romania on an attacking point of view. Romania, I think, will sit a little bit deeper, and I do think if they can defend well, they will frustrate Netherlands, but personally, I think Netherlands will hit back here. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 3-1 away victory to Netherlands, and that will mean that they do qualify to a quarterfinal despite finishing third in their group. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. The final round of 16 Euro 2024 game to predict is Austria versus Turkey. Who saw this draw coming? Loads of people were thinking it was going to be France versus Turkey, but no, it was Austria. They beat Netherlands by 3-2 in an epic encounter, and I've been really impressed with Austria. I did actually predict Austria and Netherlands to draw their game, but I was not confident enough to back Austria for a win, even though I could have seen it coming. Turkey managed to go through in the expense of Czech Republic, which makes me sad because they were my sweepstakes side, but on the whole, they deserved it. I do think Czech Republic going down to 10 men helped, but at the same time, Turkey did have to be very, very patient. They did concede that equaliser, but they responded relatively well, and just with a bit of patient play and maybe rattling a couple of players, they managed to get the job done, and they've done that really efficiently. Now, against this Austria side, I think these are two sides you would not have expected to make it this far. So I'm really pleased that at least one of them is going to make it to a quarter-final. I think certainly Austria and Turkey were not predicted to be quarter-finalists at the start of the tournament. So I'm really excited for both these sides. As a prediction, I think Austria, to me, have played a bit better at the moment. Turkey certainly do have their qualities. Like, they can really score some cracking goals. We've seen 2 of them against Georgia, of course. But I think here, I think Austria, based on the way that they work so hard off the ball, and they've got some really good players who can not only hit on the break, but they can actually play quite expansive stuff as well. I think they'll be able to cut through Turkey. I'm going to go through a 2-1 victory. I think it'll be close, but I do think it's going to be Austria that go through. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So, I'm predicting Switzerland to go through. I'm predicting Germany to go through. I'm predicting England, Spain, France, Portugal, Netherlands, and Austria. These are my 8 quarter finalists. So I'm really, really intrigued to see how this is going to go around. Like, once again, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll be really, really intrigued to read your comments. So that wraps it up for today. If you guys enjoyed, please smash that like button. It really does help the growth of this channel. Please do hit the subscribe button too, really helps. And please also share the channel too. All 3 of these things really do help. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if you're watching this video. And as always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.